What's up, guys? This is Stimpy. I am doing another mid-recovery video here in my garage, and I have finally managed to get to a place where I'm ready to declare a wonderful milestone. I've been working very hard on cleaning out my garage, and I've finally gotten to a place where I'm able to show it off here. Just before I do, I just want to say I just crossed the 3-month mark. So I just saw the surgeon on my knee, looking at my knee, and he said that I'm good for jogging now. Still not good for dirt biking, but the physical therapist, and he agreed that I'd be good after 3 months, or after 4 months, and that's a month away. So I'm 1 month away from being able to ride my street bike. Technically, I'm already riding my cruiser, but I'll be good for riding on the freeway on my sport touring bike, which means weekend rides out to curvy roads, and then on my dual sport bike, I'll be on that in about 3 more months. So 1 month away, I'll be able to hit the road for long hauls, and then 3 months away, I'll be able to hit the dirt. So it's been about 2.5 weeks since my last follow-up, and as I showed you guys, I was going to be doing a bunch of work in my garage. It's an absolute disaster. You can see just how horrible it was in my last video, just stuff everywhere. I had a whole lot to do, but here I am now. I am ready now to show you guys what I've been doing, so take a look. Da-da-da! I can see the floor. The floor. I have a floor. The floor is visible. I got room to move around. Isn't this awesome? So let's go around here. So I have 4 bikes in here, one of which is obviously just a bicycle. This is the tool chest that I talked about. I've got all of my tools in here. I've got my sockets. I've got my non-socket wrenches. I've got my pliers. I've got my screwdrivers, and at some point, and then basically anything else is going to be dumped up here or on these shelves. I still want to reorganize all of this, but that's what I got going on here. This is leftover lumber that I'll for something I'll show you in just a moment, but you kind of already got a glimpse of it already. This is the never mind. I'm using this for storage. I got this for cheap from somebody, but it's been in here, so I just moved it from over there. You guys remember that I had a teardrop table for my desk. It's a teardrop part of a computer desk, and it's balancing on one little peg over there, and it's barely holding up. It's pushing up against the top of this rail back in the back, so that too is barely balancing. This toolbox is holding it up to keep it from falling over. That is now gone. I'm temporarily got this other table sitting here after I clean this stuff off, but at least this stuff is off the ground. These are just organizing containers, so I still have work to do here in the garage, which is to organize the stuff that's sitting up on the shelves, but at least it's off the floor. And I got another table here. So between these two tables, they're great for projects, doing things like cutting wood, as I discovered the need for when I built by hand that. So what this is I bought off of Amazon a 2x4 Basics do-it-yourself workbench kit that I thought was going to come with everything, including lumber. I wasn't paying attention, so I got these braces. Is all they had. Braces and screws is all I had. So it was telling me to go out and buy some lumber. Well, I was going to return it, and I was like, you know what? Actually, I need more room in here. So I decided to go ahead and buy the lumber. So I bought my first circular saw, this guy, at Home Depot, along with a bunch of lumber. And I built this whole thing myself. I've got, I don't know what you call this material, but it's good, smooth material sitting on top of these 2x4s. And then I got the slightly less smooth thing going on down here, because I don't need to do any actual work here. So it's the cheaper stuff down here. But that's a big 5x3 workbench. Very, very large. To get that pre-made is a lot more expensive than it cost me then after I created these shelves, I realized how tall it was, and I decided, well, do I want to put a pegboard back there with a light, or do I want to just shorten the shelves? And I decided to put the pegboard. So I went back to Home Depot, bought the pegboard, got a light. You guys can pause the video and take a look at what I printed out there. That's for my work. But anyway, I'm trying to deal with some character improvements in myself. But anyway, so that's all of this together. Including what I bought at Amazon, and including the light and the pegboard and the saw, all the lumber, and this electrical thing. So this thing controls the light. Had to do hand wiring of all of that. That's the only way I could hook this up to the electrical. So I've got an extension cable going up back there. So all of that was about $350. So now I have room to put my helmets and all this stuff down here. Look at how much oil I have. I had a cruiser that I was trying to restore that I was hoping the lifters weren't lifting, and I was hoping I could just keep flushing the oil, fill it up with oil, and put some sea foam in there, and just do a whole bunch of oil changes. And I kind of gave up on it, but in the end, I ended up with all this oil. So I got a whole lot of oil that's going to last me for a little while. Hopefully, this stuff has good shelf life, because that's going to last me a good long while. It's mostly 20W50. Good for Phoenix weather. I got some cleaner stuff in there. Oil pans, and I got my tires. Anyway, so that's that. So I had to build this when I realized that this wasn't going to work enough. It wasn't going to be sufficient. So what I'm looking at here, obviously I have more work to do here. I need to clean this stuff up, but at least it's off the floor. And this, by the way, this is not unswept. This is from an incident from a year ago where dirty soap water from the washing machine flooded the garage, and I had to mop it, and I haven't gotten around to mopping it. But at least it's not gonna. If I'm out here barefoot, it's not gonna get on my feet. It's pretty. Anyway, it's not going anywhere. As dirty as it looks. Anyway, so these shelves. So the idea is everything that was on the floor before, it needs a place to go. Like I can't just pick it up. I got to know where to put it. So there's general categorization of everything, sort of. So from here and over, other than this doesn't count, but from here and over is stuff related to. From here and over, everything. This is all stuff related to my CRF 250L. From here and over, other than this, is stuff related to my Red Cruiser. From here and over is stuff related to my sport touring bike, and so on. So, and then up here I've got, let's see, this is leftover stuff from the sport touring bike. This is stuff from my Subaru that I sold off. No, not that. That's my Mazda stuff. Anyway, and then I've got bungee cables. I've got gloves. I've got anything related to accessories for the ride that I would grab. This stuff, and this is some speakers that I need to throw away or do something with. Cheap speakers. But up here I've got bags and bag accessories and helmet accessories and covers. And so on. And obviously here I've got a bunch of, if I found any fluids, I dumped them here. This is not a good organization, so I still need to reorganize all this stuff. And I have a whole bunch of these. I've got a big stack of these to organize it all. And then I also have more over here. So I got these, and so on. So, there's more work to do, but at least it's, I'm getting somewhere. This is tolerable. I can actually hang out in my garage. It's really darn cool. I've never had a full garage like this before with my own organization opportunity like this before. So this is really, really exciting. Oh yeah, here's something else to show. So I got this rack. When I bought, this is my workbench. You can't see much of it But this is the first workbench that I bought. It's got a light. It's a pretty nice little workbench. I've got all of my armor down there for writing, all the armor. So when I bought the workbench, it has drawers. When I bought the workbench, I bought it as a set with this stool. So I assembled the stool with it. So it's one big workbench. Work Pro. Very, very nice workbench for the price. It was something like $160 or something like that. Add that to this, $500. It's a lot of money, but it was worth it. I end up with a garage that's almost sane. Anyway, that kit with the workbench and the stool also came with a rack. So I mounted this rack to this wall so I can hang my jackets up. They're different sizes, they're different shapes. These hooks are different shapes, for different reasons, but it works well. I decided to go with short, longer, longest, so that I have room to get in and out of my back door. To use that back door to dump garbage. So that's the status update, guys. I had put 2.5 weeks into this, like hard work, hard, almost full-time work, working on this garage, and I'm so happy. I can see the floor now, and it's manageable, and this is really, really cool. It's not clean, obviously, but it's so much more sane than it was. So, you know, it still looks a bit like chaos, but it's night and day compared to what it was. So, oh yeah, I got my gas cans down there. These are pads. There's a whole bunch of them. That's why it's so piled up so high. And I got my jacks. So, I mean, again, it's not the it still could use some reorganization, but at least it's up off the floor and has opportunity to be sane, and I can spend some time in here without feeling so guilty. So there's that, and I'll finish this off with a little decal I put on here. If you're happy and you know it, clap your... Oh.